breakers, or breakers for the heat pump, breakers for the light, and breakers for the pump itself. So if we lose power or anything, we'll double check those different items. Timer here is not controlling anything, okay? It's there, we pre-wire it there so that if ever down the road you want to add a salt system, a UV system, ozone system, those will need an external timer. That's what that's there for, okay?
So the time's not doing anything right
Nope,
now.
the timer for the pump is programmed on the pump itself.
Oh, okay.
You do have the GFCI right here, which is connected to the light. So if you ever go to turn the light on and it doesn't come on, but the breaker is on here, this is mine is tripped here.
Okay.
So you hit the test reset button just like you have in your kitchen, your bathrooms. That will then get the power back on. You can control the light with a dial. You can also control it Bluetooth.
I've already got that set up.
You already did that? Perfect. So if you're out here and you want to turn it on, just hit the button. Whatever it's on there, we can rotate it to the different color. Push the button, it'll blink a couple times and it'll come on. Or you can do the same with your phone as well. Okay?
Okay, that's cool.
Yep, pretty simple and easy to use on that end.
Because I usually don't have her phone.
Turn it off, you just hold it down, it blinks once and it goes off on you. When it comes to the pump, we run two speeds. Speed number 1 and speed number 2. Speed number 1 is our cleaning speed, speed number 2 is our low circulation speed. Speed number 1 runs from midnight to 8. That's our cleaning cycle. And then from 8 to 6 o'clock in the morning, speed number 2, or 6 o'clock in the evening, speed number 2 runs.
Sorry, you said cleaning runs from when?
Midnight to 8 in the morning. And
Okay.
then from 8 to 6 p.m. is speed number 2.
Okay.
What's 3?
3 is utilized for either spas, water features, or something like that.
So we don't have that.
Nope, so it's not even
And that's
utilized.
just a regular filtering.
Yeah, so when you're running speed number 1, the vacuum will move around and clean the pool. Speed number 2, if it moves, it's barely even moving. So if at any time we're home and we got a big ugly dust storm coming in, instead of hitting quick clean that only runs for 15 minutes, just hit speed number 1 manually.
Oh, okay. So you
Okay?
just
So
touch
if I
it.
just manually hit this,
Oh, and then
it
that
goes
would
to there.
start.
Yep. So it's going to kick it on and cause it the higher rate of speed to run. After 8 hours, it will automatically reset itself. Or if I hit the button that says start stop, if I hit it twice, once turns the pump off completely, turn it on again, then we'll put it back to this normal time cycle.
Okay.
It's going to prime for 5 minutes.
You getting all this, Leon?
Run on a high speed before it will then turn down back to that low speed.
Okay.
And it's just doing that to make sure that it has enough water running through the pump before it kicks down to low speed.
Got it.
Okay, so that's why I'll run for 5 minutes like that. When you're on speed number 2, is that real low circulation speed. When that's running, all we're doing is filtering the water.
Okay.
The vacuum's not moving. Okay.
So if I'm in the pool and I'm swimming and I want to move that thing out of the way.
Okay, there's a
then
way that we're going to do that. So
Okay.
I'll review the valves from you. You're
Got it.
sucking water from 3 areas of the pool. The skimmer, which is on the side where the basket is. The drain down below, which is the rectangle drain down below. And then the vacuum. We'll just leave this valve just like this. This valve controls your vacuum. If at any time I want to pull the vacuum out of the pool, turn that to the off position, that shuts the vacuum off.
Okay.
I can pull it out of the pool, do my swimming, plug it back in. When I'm done, put this handle back in between the 2 screws there. That's where you're set at.
Got it.
For the proper amount of suction to have that run like it should.
Good.
Water then sucks up into here. There's a basket that we clean out. We'll talk about that in a minute. Water comes up through here. Red handle hose bibs to drain off any excess rainwater. You have a float that controls evaporation that fills the pool back up. This is to pump any water off. That's pool water pumping on. Okay, water then comes into the filter. Everything gets filtered out and cleaned. We'll talk about maintenance on this in a minute. Water then comes across here. Bypass valve is closed because we always want water going into the heater and out of the heater, even if we're not using it. The only time that gets changed is for any reason the heater needs to be replaced. Water then comes around here, and we have 3 valves here. These 2 larger valves will always stay in this position. You will never touch these. The only one you might touch is your aerator. As we turn that on, that's the little white nozzle on the side of the deck. Okay, on low speed, you can see it hardly even sprays. The higher speed you run, so if you run speed number 1, the more volume of water you get out of it. Aerators help to cool off the pool. Okay, so a lot of people run it at nighttime during the summertime, where it's cooler at night. It brings down the temperature about 5 degrees, so it doesn't feel like bath water.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
so that's what the aerator is. Pretty simple on that end.
Yeah. No, he's looking.
He's like,
What's going on?
That's new.
Maintenance wise, we talked about the filter and the pump basket here. with as much leaves as you have, most of your basket cleaning is going to probably be on top of the skimmer basket there.
Okay.
Any leaves that fall down on the bottom and the vacuum picked up are going to be in here. To clean it, you want to hit the start stop button one time to shut it off. Open this up. You see a little bit of leaves we've already picked up. Okay. When you put the basket in, if you try to put it in wrong, it doesn't sit in there. The hole goes towards the front so it sits down all the way. You clean up right here because you have an O-ring that's going to seal that off. And a box of goodies, we left you with some lube for some O-rings. And once a year you want to make sure you lube up all your O-rings. When we put this on, we'll start it at an angle, tighten it down, and then turn the pump back on. If there's not a green light next to the start-stop button, the pump will never come back on.
Okay.
Okay, it's going to prime for that 5 minutes. So it's going to run on a high speed for 5 minutes. What it's essentially doing is drawing water from the pool, pushing it into this filter, and pushing that air to the top of the filter there. Okay, so that air is going to get trapped in there. We got to release that air. This is called the air release valve. So what I do is, as I see water fill that up, as I see water hit the bottom of the lid, all I'm going to do is give this a turn. And as soon as water starts spraying out, then I've purged the system or released all the air. So now these filters have full of water instead of having air trapped on the top half.
Okay.
Makes sense there?
Yep.
So anytime you clean your pump basket, you want to bleed that out. Now when it comes to these filters, your highest speed that you're running at is 10 PSI. They want you to clean it when you've gained 10 more. Or every 3 to 4 months, whatever happens first. Okay?
Which filter?
These large filters that are in here.
Okay.
Okay? This will very rarely jump up to 20 PSI.
Okay.
Okay? Most likely you're going to be 3 to 4 months. There's large filters in here, just like the vacuum canister inside the house.
Okay.
The more dirt in it, the less performance you get out of the vacuum. Same concept here. The more dirt we have in this, the dirtier our pool's going to be. To clean it, it tells us step by step right here. We can also scan the QR code, it'll give you a video, but the generic version is this. Pump is off. We take this clamp assembly off. Top comes off. There's 4 filters in here. Take them out, lean them against the wall, take your hose and wash them down.
Okay.
Do you have to release pressure before opening it up? Do that first
Yep,
before.
and it tells you that right here.
Okay.
Yep, you open this up, that will release the pressure. If you don't, you're just gonna get wet.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Yep, water's just gonna come right out of the tank. There is a plug right underneath here. Okay, that if there's a lot of settlement sitting on the bottom of the tank, you're gonna unscrew that, rinse the tank out before you put the filters back in. The filters, there's not right side up or 1, 2, 3, 4. They just go back in any way you want to put them back in on that end. Okay, put them back in. You'll notice an O-ring right here. Clean it, lube it up. Same thing with the plug. Clean it, lube it up. Tighten it down. Fire it back up. Now you got a whole tank full of air, right? So it's going to take a little bit to bleed out. So you'll let that run, then you'll open this up. As soon as water sprays out, you're good to go. So every 3 to 4 months, don't go past 4 months.
Okay.
And this is basically a clamp.
So this whole nut assembly comes off. This will just screw off, and this whole clamp pops off.
And then that's what opens it
Yep,
up.
correct. Correct.
Here's a cute little
Yeah,
finger.
it tells you, don't open it up while it's running. Or you'll blow water right out everywhere. Yep. And
And
that's
you
what,
turn it off with that
yeah,
switch
just
over
the
there.
start-stop button turns it off to where no water's running. Because right now you got 10 pounds of pressure on the filter. Okay? When you're running low speed, you'll notice you'll have no pressure.
Okay.
Okay?
Which is good.
Yeah, which is just because you're barely moving any water through it. It's the high speed that's the indicator on that. We'll tell you on that. Zero maintenance you got to do on the heater. I do tell people if you see dirt and stuff building up on the coils, you can wash them down.
You know, it's like the
Yeah, just like your AC unit.
And does this cools as well?
It does. I
Really?
believe that's a heat and cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can. It gets pretty expensive, but you
Yeah,
can.
I'm sure it does.
You can. You can control this just like you run your unit inside the house, right? The key indicator is you got to be on speed number 1, the high speed while running it. Okay, high speed right now is scheduled to come to midnight to 8. So if you want to, and it works off of ambient air temperature, means pulling warm air in to be able to heat the pool up. So when it gets super cold, this won't run. If the outside air temperature is below 40 degrees, it won't kick on. So you don't want to run it from midnight to 8. So what you do is come out here, just manually hit speed number 1, turn this on by hitting the on-off button, and then setting your temperature up. You know, you can go 80 degrees, 75 degrees, whatever. Right now it's set at 75. Okay.
Yep. I had it. I think I had it set
Yep.
at 77.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to 77.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then that will do that at night?
Yep. It'll kick on because right now we're not dropping below 40 degrees at night.
Yeah.
So sometimes we are, but
So if I wanted it to heat up during the day, I have to hit
the
it.
more efficiently, yes. Hit
Okay.
speed. Right now it might heat up while running on speed number 2.
Uh-huh.
That's because you got good flow of water. You're not having much restrictions through the filters.
Uh-huh.
But the best efficient way is to run it on speed 1, the high speed. And the best efficient way when you're heating this with a heat pump is to get a solar blanket.
Oh, okay.
Because right now you might wake up in the morning and see steam coming off of it.
Yeah.
Looks pretty
It's just-
cool, but that's dollar signs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so by putting a blanket over it, it's not going to have to run as much.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the solar blanket?
They're just, you get it at your local pool store, but they're just basically a heavy mill bubble wrap. And you lay
Just
it,
lays
so
on
you-
top.
Yep, just lays on top of there, and then when you're not using the pool, you leave it on there. When you are, you just roll it up, and then you can swim. But that keeps the heat from escaping.
And then where do you keep that when you're not using it?
You can store it in the garage, store it on the side yard. You can sell them with reels. You can roll it up on a reel and move it out of the way.
Yeah, maybe off to that side.
Yeah, it's just all up to you on that end.
That's an accessory item.
Yes, exactly. But that's going to make it more efficiently to heat.
Yep.
So you're not wasting your money every time it gets super cold. And
What do those things cost? Depending on
a couple
size, I
$100
bet.
bucks. Yeah, a couple $100 bucks.
So
Depends
then
on the
you
mill.
figure that to
Yeah.
what you're saving.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna save a ton.
Yeah. My dad had one of those.
I would never heat a pool without one.
Okay. All right.
I know nothing about pools, but
Yeah, because you're just going to be chasing your tail.
Yeah.
The colder it gets, you
Uh-huh.
want to be able to maintain that heat in there. Because the most efficient that this can heat is up to 100,000 BTUs. When we compare that to when we're at the resort and they're heating up a spa, they're using 400,000 BTU gas heater.
Oh my.
Okay, so gas is super expensive, where this is a lot cheaper, but it's a quarter of the size, and we're heating up a lot more water. So it takes time for it to heat.
Yeah.
I always tell people this, that if you want to use it for the weekend, don't start heating it on Friday night.
Okay.
You know, give yourself a couple days before start heating it,
Okay.
and you go that route. Okay.
Yep.
Any questions there?
Nope.
All right, let's go poolside and we'll review some things over here.
is there a written manual online of what you're actually going through?
Yeah, this right here.
Okay.
Yep, right here.
I do good with written out.
The automatic water leveler is controlled by these two blue valves over here. Okay. This is feeding water to the water leveler, and I'll show you that. If either one of these gets turned off, it shuts it off and we start evaporating.
Okay.
Okay. We lose 3 inches a week in the summertime, so make sure it always stays like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was off.
Yep, it was off.
Because we noticed the water
Oh.
going down.
Yep.
I see.
Okay, so it's over here on this side. And we got it set up to where you're about center or below is where we want it. We don't want it any higher than center. The reason why is we don't want it to restrict the skimmer flow.
Uh-huh.
The lower it is, the easier it is for the skimmer to skim.
Got it.
So it's going to add just a little bit, but this is where it's at. It says Corky. If you open up your toilet, it says Corky. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, it's nothing special. Every now and then you can take it apart, clean up all the calcium that we always get on devices out here. Put it back together and you're all good to go.
So that's the automatic
Uh-huh.
water,
Water leveler.
water level.
Uh-huh. And it's preset. You don't need to change it or anything like that.
And it should be, we want it at like the
Center or
midway
below.
point.
Yep.
Or
So
low.
this is an optical illusion. You know how we stick a spoon reflecting so it looks like it's really on the bottom. If you look right here, center's only right here. It's about a ½ an inch below center.
Okay.
We noticed it went down a
Yep.
little bit from.
And where it's at is
First start.
perfect. As long as hitting tile, you're good to go.
Good.
Okay, you don't want it way above center because you'll get a lot of restriction. You don't want it below the tile because
Yeah,
then it's not skimming.
Got it.
The vacuum will handle everything on the floors. It doesn't get on the steps and benches. So anytime we have a lot of dirt, we want to make sure we continue to brush those. Its enemy is rocks. So if you see a rock get kicked in there and it picks it up, it's going to stop.
Okay.
So if we come out here in the morning and notice it didn't do any laps around the pool, it's probably got a rock in it.
Okay.
Go turn the valve off over there. You can pull it out. You don't need any tools to get the bottom off of that. It just has one clamp. You're gonna do one clamp, the whole bottom comes out, and you can remove the rock.
Off of this thing.
Yep,
This?
off of
Okay.
that. Yep, it's
Got it.
pretty simple on that end. Okay.
And this can be disconnected here.
Yes, but make sure you always turn it off before disconnecting, because it's still gonna want to suck water into here. That little white door right there is a safety door that will close because it doesn't want little fingers getting caught in there.
Okay.
So they close, and so it's still going to try to suck water in there. So always turn the valve closed over there before opening here.
And which valve is that?
That one that's labeled vacuum. That one that we put in between the two screws.
So when it's in between the two screws, it's vacuuming
Yes, it has the best.
currently right now.
Yeah, until it goes to low speed.
You're
When
right.
it goes to low speed, or between 6 and midnight, it has nothing.
But if
we wanna
wish
turn it off.
disconnect it,
If you wish to disconnect it, no matter what time of day it is, turn the handle off.
turn it off those two screws.
Yes, and it says off on the valve. You rotate that off to the vacuum.
And then,
position.
how does this disconnect here?
It just
Is
pulls right out.
It just pulls.
Yep.
It's
Okay. So
basically
it's just
like a
held on by
vacuum hose.
suction.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay.
It's
So
just it pulls out.
So there's no
You set it
screwing
aside,
or anything. It just
And then that door will close. You open up the door, plug it back in, turn the valve back on, and you're up and running.
Okay.
got it.
Okay? You're storing chlorine tablets in here right now. Okay? Depending on how much we're swimming and using the pool, obviously depending on how much chlorine we need. The hotter it gets, you're going to be putting more chlorine tablets in there. Then we leave you with a test kit. We'll review that on that end. But that's where we're storing the chlorine tablets.
Okay.
On that end.
This you just fill it up with chlorine tablets?
Because if you fill it up, then it's going to be too much chlorine. It all depends on the temperature. So this time of year, you might be only 1 to 2 tablets a week. Come summertime, you might be 5 or 6 tablets a week.
So
it's just depending on
upon temperature.
yeah, depending on temperature, usage, and then you'll always test before adding.
Okay.
Okay. Over here on this side is your skimmer basket.
It's good. Good.
Move to the next place.
Okay. So the skimmer basket does lock into place. It's skimming everything off the top. When we want to remove that, we're going to turn it towards the pole so the handle goes in this direction, and then we can pull it out.
Oh, look, it's already got Fred.
Got a spider in there.
Already picking up everything.
Pulls out a hummingbird.
I've pulled out lots of critters out of
Yeah.
skimmer baskets. Okay, keep this nylon sock on there. If it gets really dirty, you can rinse it out with the hose.
Okay.
When you're done, line it up, push down, turn. Now it's locked into place. Okay. If you ever reach down in there and you're trying to pull it out and it won't come out, it's because it's not been turned and unlocked
Okay.
on that end. Your handle here is just a basic handrail. It will come loose at some times, but all it does to tighten it is a half inch wrench right there.
Yeah, we saw him put it in.
Yep.
Put a geocache.
Yep. Just tighten it down and you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's have people come knocking at your door trying to find that.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Uh-huh.
A geocache? We've tested that in parking lots, and without even knowing if there's one there.
Yeah.
we
We've
lift-
lifted up, found a geocache.
Find a geocache.
Yeah.
Just a weird specific rock. You're like, what's that there for? Why is that there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's a. Yeah. But yeah, just every now and then, if it seems like a little loose, tighten it down.
Okay.
On that.
Or it can be completely.
Or if we need to
removed.
remove it, pops right out, set it aside. Okay. You have a umbrella sleeve right here.
Uh-huh.
It's only yay big. Okay. It's not to have the umbrella in there at all the time.
Okay.
So as you unscrew it, put the umbrella in there. When you're done, put it
Are
back.
there-
And put the cap on.
Is this for like? Are there like special?
There's not
sizes?
a special size,
So it's just
because they're
any-
all different sizes. Just don't use a wooden one unless you want it there forever.
Yeah.
Oh, because the
Swell.
wood will
It's
swell.
I had
Yeah.
a customer. I can't get it out. I showed up, and I'm like, because those are usually way bigger than the umbrellas.
Yeah.
I showed up as wood, and I went and got a saw, and they're like,
Oh my goodness.
what are you doing? I'm like, that's the only way we're getting it
The
out.
only way it's gonna come out.
Wonder if my LPG umbrella fits in there. Probably.
It probably
It's a
would.
beach umbrella.
Yeah.
You have all your goodies to keep you going. Okay, you have skimmer net, pole, brush. Extra parts in here for the vacuum, which you'll probably never use, but you also have extra hoses in there, which you will down the road. So keep all of those. And additional chlorine tablets. We added ChlorSave to the pool. It's a stabilizer that blankets the chlorine so it doesn't get burnt off in the sun. The only time you'll add any more of this is if you drain your pool down completely.
Okay.
Okay, so you shouldn't ever, about every 3 to 5 years, you'll get recommended to drain your pool down. That's when you will have to add.
Would it just write that on there every 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm gonna, when we discuss chemicals, our recommendation is testing chemicals once a week, but every 30 days to take a sample to your local pool store.
Oh.
Because they're going to tell you
Where
more
you're at.
chemistry wise, and they'll tell you, okay, your calcium levels are too high, or your TDSs are too high, you have to drain water down and start fresh. I've had some customers that neglected their pools and they had to drain it 2 years down the road.
Oh wow.
So,
And what is neglecting the pool? What would that?
letting it turn green and adding shock constantly in it, which
Oh.
creates other byproducts in the water, creates poor chemistry, creates our where our chlorine's not working properly, stuff like that.
So if we see ducks living in this,
Yeah,
and frogs,
yeah. You
That's
got
probably not good.
probably
yeah, it's probably not
good.
good. He also added some shock to bring our chlorine level up fast. Don't get on a routine of thinking I need to add shock every week.
Okay.
Shock is just high concentration chlorine that has other byproducts that your pool might not need, which causes your TDSs, total dissolved solids, to be high. Once they get to a certain point, chlorine doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
Okay. You got a thermometer. It does tell you on the heater the temperature of the water, but if you want to hang it off the aerator, loop for those O-rings.
Yeah.
Hangers, attach them to the wall so you can hang up everything.
Oh.
You do have a test kit here. That tells us step by step how to test our chemicals right here. I don't have my readers on, but we'll review it.
You don't carry a magnifying glass?
I took them out of my truck.
He's got a magnifying glass if you need it.
No, I'll be good.
Right.
So, you do this for 20 some odd years. and
You probably don't
do
need to
this
see
like-
it. Yeah.
So the first thing you always do, I'll give you this card, is you're gonna measure chlorine out of this tube here. So you'll go elbow deep in the water, dump it out to the top of the line right there. You'll take solution number 1, add 5 drops. You put the caps on, you shake it up, and you'll see a color of yellow. If you're holding in our ideal range, and we did 2 tablets last week, then we'll stick with 2 tablets this week. If we're running a little low, jump it up to 3, run a little high, maybe only go to 1. That's how we adjust our chlorine.
Okay.
If it's completely clear and it's middle of the summertime, then we got to get it up fast. We need to hit it with like liquid chlorine or shock and put the adequate amount of tablets in there.
Okay.
Okay. Step number 2 on the card is going to measure the pH of the water. So we fill up the large vial to the top of the line here. Okay, right where it says. We'll neutralize the chlorine with solution number 4 by adding 1 or 2 drops. Depending on the higher our chlorine level is, the more drops we add to neutralize the chlorine. Okay, and it tells you in that card, on that card there. Mix it up, take the cap off, and then add 5 drops to solution number 2. Mix it up, and you'll see a shade of like anywhere from pink to purple right here. And right next to that, that says add acid. The acid that's talking about is the muriatic acid that's in that jug there. Okay, to determine how much to add, you go to step number 3 on the card. It's called acid demand test. You take solution number 3, add 1 drop at a time, swirl it in between drops until that purple pink solution turns orangish yellow. And we're counting our drops because we take this card here, across the top is our drops. Where did I do it with your booklet? Didn't I set it down right here?
Leon, what'd
Oh,
you
it's
do?
right here. I just need to know the gallons.
How many gallons?
So you're at 9,000.
Is that what you
So you
calculated?
go off of 10,000 gallons on that chart there. So it's 10,000. Here's your drops, 1, 2, 3, 4. You line it up, and that's how much acid you'll add depending on how many drops you got it to change that color.
So 1 quart is what you would add?
No,
For
it
4?
depends.
For
How
four.
many did you add?
If you did 4,
Yep, you did 4, 1
be
quart,
1 quart.
1.5 cups.
Oh, see, they got the
Yeah.
thing up here.
So your drops are on the top, your gallons are on the side.
Okay.
Now you're not baking a cake, so we don't have to be exact. So
Okay.
as soon as you get a whiff of that muriatic acid, because it's a strong vinegary pungent smell.
Yeah.
First thing we do is anytime we add anything to the pool that needs to be dissolved quickly, so mostly everything besides tablets, you want to be on high speed, speed number 1. Make sure the system's running. I'll grab a gallon jug worth, and I know I'll have to add 2 pints worth. I know that there's 8 pints to a gallon. I'll run it and I'll come over here to the deep end and I'll slowly start adding it.
So you get it running first and
Yep.
then you,
Yep.
okay.
And then slowly start adding it and let it circulate for an hour before anybody is swimming.
Okay.
If it calls for 2 pints, I'm not adding a whole gallon.
Okay.
I'm eyeballing it and letting it run on that end.
Got it.
Okay.
So you just put it in here.
Uh-huh.
at the
Directly
pool.
into there. Yep. There's products that you'll buy as your pool gets older that you'll dissolve first in a 5-gallon bucket, but you'll just read the instructions on that.
And how soon after can you swim?
About an hour
Okay.
with the muriatic acid. I give it an
Just
hour.
send Sue in first. Her sister.
Step number 4 on this card talks about the alkalinity of the water. You will not be able to test that until your water becomes older.
Okay.
But every 30 days, you're going to take a sample to a local pool store and have them measure everything.
Okay.
They'll be doing everything electronically with an expensive kit. They'll be able to measure everything and tell you where you need to be on that end.
Okay.
So chlorine, pH are your main things that we're testing. Okay. Keep this inside, especially in the summertime, because the heat will make your drops go bad. Whereas right now, it's not too bad. Okay. So that's chemicals. Any questions there?
Nope.
Where do we buy chemicals? At the pool store.
It all depends on how much you want to spend and whatnot. But something to be aware of is you grab this, and it says 99% trichlor. You'll go to Walmart or Home Depot and you say, man, I can get a big bucket that's a lot cheaper than our local pool store. It might say 89% trichlor.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
So there's a difference. Okay. A lot of the stores can't carry 99%. They can't carry the quality of muriatic acid. So
But the pool stores have
your
them.
pool stores have license to do that.
Okay.
So, if you're at Home Depot and you see a good deal, look at that. If it's 99%, buy it. If it's not, then don't worry about it.
I love the warning there. Corrosive. I mean, you see something like that, to me, sounds
Does
like
that need to be kept in a cool place?
No,
or-
it's not explosive.
Okay.
You don't want to keep it because it's an acid and chlorine's a base.
Yeah.
So if you get a Rubbermaid Tupperware, don't store them in the same container.
Okay.
Okay, because if they mix for any reason, it makes a chemical reaction on that end. But I store mine over by my equipment in a Rubbermaid container. So it's
Okay.
out in the heat.
Yeah.
Not going to hurt anything. A lot of people get like the sheds and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if that just spills on decking or concrete or whatnot, it'll eat it. They use muriatic acid to clean driveways.
Got it.
So it's nothing. When you're using it, don't wear your best clothes because some splash on you. It's not going to burn you if you touch it. Obviously, you keep it out of your eyes and stuff like that.
dogs probably shouldn't drink it.
But a dog won't even get near it. As soon as they smell it, they run
Smells
it.
bad.
Yeah, that muriatic acid stinks. So, okay. Continue to brush as much as possible for this first 30 days. So at least once a day. After the first 30 days, at least once a week.
Okay.
If we get a lot of dirt in the pool, brush it directly into the drain down there. Okay, that will then pull it out as well on that end. That's a dustpan. I always tell people if you sweep the kitchen floor and don't sweep it in the dustpan, it doesn't get picked up. So
Right.
sweep it directly into there.
So you're trying to get it all to there.
Yep. The vacuum's going to do a really good job. Your main concerns are going to be steps and benches right now. If anytime you get any dirt or anything on there, keep them clean. If you guys get turf laid down, they'll be spreading sand and stuff, so make sure to keep it clean.
Yeah, that's happening in the next couple of weeks.
Just remember that anytime that we want it to run manually, just go over there and hit speed number 1.
Okay.
And that will turn it, because we have it on 1 right now, just so that we can watch
So
it
if we
back.
get a monsoon or a haboob that comes through, and then once it's done, we would probably want to go and put it on speed 1 and let it.
Oh, no, I kick mine on before it even gets here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that it starts.
Yeah, it starts
Okay.
moving, so water's
Good.
circulating before it all sets down and filters out.
Good.
Okay, so just
Good
go,
to
and
know.
then after 8 hours, it's going to turn itself off, so you don't have to worry about going sweat it, turn it off and on and off or anything like that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's review this book.
Are there online videos similar to what you're presenting to us?
If you go, so to clean the filters, you scan the QR code, there's a video there. You go to our website, there's a video there. Every pool's different, so some things are are different on that end. But yeah, this booklet's going to give you notes on that end. She's got good video of what I just showed you. So
Yeah, I'm gonna probably replay it and then take notes.
yep,
Create
Yeah.
ourselves a little checklist.
yep.
Which is
And that's
probably
this-
in here.
That's right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a second. Okay. Maintain water center of tile line. We talked about that. Anywhere close to center or below, we're good there. So if either one of those two valves gets turned off, then we're going to evaporate. If we get a ton of rain and it's overfilling, red handle hose bib to pump any off. When it comes time to drain your pool down completely, you'll rent a submersible pump to drain that off on that end. You won't try to drain it off with the red handle hose bib over there. Pump is started, labeled. Make sure we lube up O-rings once a year. That's what the lube's for in the box over there. You don't backwash these filters. You clean the cartridges every 3 to 4 months.
We have a whole new dreaded list.
Yeah. Weekly list or monthly list.
We used to have a fall list that
Yeah.
we would do in
From
Chicago.
Illinois.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Every fall,
to
there was these
repair.
dreaded items that we had to do.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep, same thing.
All right.
All the valves are labeled. We talked about those. Talked about turning the heater on. Make sure we're always running that on high speed when we want to use it. So I'm going to hit speed 1. Adjust my temperature. Make sure it's turned on that one. When you're running that heater at a long time, you're going to see condensation around the heater. Doesn't mean it's leaking. Okay, it builds up in the pan and comes out. Just like we have the condensation pipe for our AC unit, and we get that dripping. That's the same thing that's doing there. No therapy jets because we don't have a spa. Skimmer and pump basket maintenance, check once a week. Lights installed. You've already got it downloaded on your phone. That's awesome. Deck looks good. Only maintenance you can do on this deck is just seal it if you want to. That's so if you spilled a glass of wine or spilled something on it, it's not gonna stain. Okay.
Can you use a pressure washer on it? Or is it
Nothing too heavy. I think just your hose and then a high setting on that.
Is all it's
You don't
really-
want to, because this is on cement, but you don't want to wash out all the sand, especially in that area. Because in the middle it's not in cement; it's all sand set, just like these pavers are.
Okay.
So you start washing the soil underneath it, it's going to settle and sink on you. No special water feature. Automatic cleaner stall. That's pull back anytime we want to see that running like we got it now. Remember that speed 1 as well. Talked about how to remove the rocks from there. This is plaster, so that doesn't apply to you. Receive your startup kit, conditioners and chemicals out of pool test kit once a week, 30 days from now. Take a sample to a local pool store, and then every 30 days.
Where is the pool stores around here?
Oh, let's see. There's a Leslie's.
That's who I would think of as Leslie's.
Yeah, there's a Leslie's. There's one on Power in Ocotillo by the Safeway.
Okay.
There's one out in Johnson Ranch by the Walmart.
Okay. I know where that one is. All right.
I think that's it that I
Oh, we
in
can
this
look 'em
area.
up.
Yeah.
In this area. Always stay on top of your chlorine. We don't want to get algae. If we don't maintain our chemicals, we'll ruin our pool. Right now, you don't have any staining or anything like that. You start not taking care of things, you're going to ruin it. And then once a week, make sure we brush down everything on the interior. Okay? Any other questions? Looks like they got the rock moved. I heard that was one thing that was left behind, right?
Yep, we're good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was this part here.
Perfect. That they took out. Get an autograph there. Hey, good for something,
I was
right?
just gonna say. Turning into houseboy / pool boy.
I'll take this top half here.
Okay.
This is yours to keep. If for any reason down the road you do get a pool service company,